Namaste. I'm Dr. Robert, and today on 5-ish Minutes with Dr. Robert, my subject is the COVID-19 vaccine. Several people have asked me to comment on this, and I can testify that after due deliberation, I made the decision to get vaccinated, and I have received 2 doses of the Pfizer mRNA vaccine. Being a scientist, I felt that it was important to evaluate the data as best I could, and I made it a point to read information from both sides of the question. I was fortunate in only having a mild reaction, sore arms both times. I know that people have had much more severe reactions, and those reactions need to be factored into one's decision. It is also the case, however, that there are no guarantees in life. And it is an illusion to think that we can be risk-free, that we can ever be completely safe, that we can ever eliminate all danger from life. And sometimes one has to move ahead, understanding that there is a risk involved and trying to evaluate very carefully the risk-benefit profile. I have heard people in the wellness community suggest that COVID-19 is equivalent to the seasonal flu. And while its death rate is approximately the same, it is very much not the seasonal flu. It has the potential to provide problems that last for months after the initial infection, and I know people who have had ongoing symptoms from the so-called long COVID. Some also suggest that there's no need for them to take the vaccine because they have strong immune systems. I personally have a generally strong immune system, but no immune system is perfect. No immune system will eliminate all possible dangers from your life. One of the reasons that I think it was important for me to take the vaccine is because I am concerned about the health of the people around me. Not only am I almost 68 and therefore, by virtue of being older, at greater risk for serious disease if infected, but many of my friends and relatives are also older. Many of them are in not as good health as I am. Many of them are refusing to take the vaccine. So it is not all about me. It is about me in the context of the life that I live, me in the context of my friends and loved ones, and my responsibility to try to avoid subjecting those friends and loved ones, and potentially people I don't even know, to pain and misery and suffering if I happen to become the vector that infects them with this disease. I think this is an important aspect of this reality, that you need to remember that life is not all about you. Life is about you in the context of your world, and your world is made up of the people around you, in addition to the external environment of plants and trees and animals and so on. So it is not simply a matter of being ecologically sound and concerned with the non-human environment. You also have to be concerned with the human environment. I think a lot of this concern comes from the fear of death, which motivates everyone. Everyone should be aware always that they are going to die and that death is quite inevitable. But it's one thing to be aware that you might die today, and another thing to so fear death that you resist doing anything that might possibly cause you to, in any way, come any closer to dying. I will admit that another important reason that I took the vaccine is because I do like to travel internationally, and I believe that I will be obligated for certain reasons having to do with individuals in other countries. I may need to visit other countries. And I do believe that things are trending in the direction that quite possibly to visit many countries one may need to be vaccinated. In this context, let me simply state that I am not afraid of vaccines. I maintain my yellow fever vaccination current because sometimes I do go to South America, and it is essential to have that vaccine available and current if one wishes to avoid quarantine. I do understand that there may be vaccine hesitancy for many reasons, one of which may be that governments in general, and the US government in particular, does not have a good track record for having the best interests of its population at heart. And I think that this is something that needs to be acknowledged, and at the same time that we need to evaluate the situation as objectively as possible in this particular case. In conclusion, I would like to encourage everyone to dispassionately and objectively examine the data, evaluate for yourself very carefully what your own responsibilities are, both to yourself and to others, and make an informed decision on this very important subject. This is Dr. Robert wishing you good health.